Hi, I'm Michelle. In this video, I'm going to talk about two very important things that can help setting up for a gig go quickly and smoothly. And those are an accurate input list and stage plot. Now, these two items allow the audio crew to prepare for the needs of the band. If you don't know what they are or are unsure how to create them, I'm going to explain that in this video. An input list is essentially a list of inputs from the stage and the corresponding channels in the snake that they're patched to. And input lists can contain a variety of info ranging from something that's just very basic and states only the input and the snake channel to something more detailed that states the input, the snake channel, console channels, microphones, types of mic stands, sub-snake inputs, and so on. The input list will vary according to your needs. So if you've got only a simple 16-piece band that's using all local production, you might only need something like this. Now, as the size and scope of the show increases, so will the amount of detail on the input list. So what is an input? Well, every microphone and DI is an input. Also, anything that's patched directly to the snake or the console. This can include XLR outputs on the back of the bass head or a playback rack. It also includes playback devices and any other audio source that's patched to the console or snake. So when you're making an input list, you want to include all of these sources. So how do you make an input list? Well, let's start with a drum kit. How many microphones are you going to be using on the kit? It could be a simple 4-piece kit with one kick drum, snare drum, hi-hat, rack tom, floor tom, and a few cymbals. Ideally, you would mic all of the drums individually and use a pair of overhead mics for the cymbals. And on the input list, it would look something like this. You also have an electric guitar player who's using one mic on the guitar cabinet, and a bass player who is going direct through a DI, but you're also adding a bass mic to the bass cabinet. You've got 3 stereo keyboards and a keyboard vocal, and finally a lead vocal. So that covers all the inputs from the stage, and now you've got your basic input list. You can also add any mic preferences. If you require straight stands, boom stands, round basses, or tripods, the more info that you can provide, the better. Along with the input list, a stage plot is also very useful. And a stage plot is just a diagram showing the positions of musicians, vocals, instruments, and monitor mixes on the stage. And like the input list, the stage plot can be as basic or detailed as needed. Many stage plots have been actually sketched out on bar napkins or notebook paper on site, and others are done via computer drawing programs or apps. This is a basic stage plot. And here is a more detailed stage plot. The idea is to let the audio and production crew know things like where the inputs are coming from, where the monitor mixes are needed, what are the dimensions of any risers that you need, where do you need power drops. For larger scale productions, you can even include the location of your sub-snakes. Now, most of the time, the input list and stage plot is drawn up by the sound engineer. But if you're in a band and you don't have a regular sound tech, it's still a good idea to have them, even if you're just doing local gigs. Give them to the sound people for your show as soon as you arrive, and better yet, get them to the production crew ahead of time. But always bring a few printed copies with you to the gig. Just getting these two things sorted first will make patching the stage and consoles go very smoothly, and they both serve as a map. The input list is a guide for patching a snake in the console, and the stage plot is a guide for patching the stage. They're also incredibly useful in troubleshooting. One last thing, be sure to keep them updated with any changes.